Hey, Adam here from Tested. I am on the set of The Expanse. Actually, it looks like I'm in the basement of the Rocinante, and I am just about to talk to Strait and Dominique Tipper, aka Holden and Naomi from The Expanse. Speaking of great actors having great chemistry with each other, you guys are now you're starting to film the 5th season.
Yeah.
So I'm actually really curious, as an actor, your whole job is about taking these words and taking these characters and bringing them into your own and making them your own, but you've now had years, not only with each other, but with the characters that you're portraying. And I'm curious, as actors, what that experience of deepening the performance and the characters that you get to know is like. What's that like?
Oh, I think it's amazing on this show because the writing is incredible and so is the source material. And so I never come back and I'm like, oh, this is a boring season 3 arc. You know, there's always like something exciting and it's always peeling back more layers, which I think is quite a hard thing to accomplish.
Narratively and character-wise.
Yeah, because that means you've just crafted these personalities, these people in a way that we can unpeel them for 3, 4, 5 years to come, and it's still exciting and it's just still finding out things and it doesn't feel like old ground that we're just going over. So for me, I'm always surprised when I open a script. Sometimes I've read some of the books, sometimes I haven't, so I don't know what's going to happen, and I'm always like, oh yeah, more of this in Naomi and more of that. And for everyone though, actually, for all the characters, I just think the writing is phenomenal. We're very lucky to have that on this show.
Yeah, and just speaking to what Dom was saying is that, you know, the great privilege of having writing that's so meticulously well plotted over the course of many years is that these characters continue to evolve through these experiences. And, you know, having portrayed these people for 5 years, you know, embodying their intentions and values and how they change over time, it's very unique, and it's unique specifically to streaming and television.
Does it feel? I mean, it sounds like a real privilege to get to.
Oh, it is
to dig in.
Yeah.
Are there with each other? I imagine, and no one ever talks about it on a movie set, but like when there's personality conflicts, it must be very difficult to be an actor with someone you don't get along with. Visiting this set, I can see everyone is a family, and so now I'm curious about like, are there types of scenes that you love to play off of each other?
I think there's some moments in scenes that are like, I feel like this is like Dom and Cas or Stephen, like rather than. But then, you know, I don't know if I was talking about this with you or Frankie. I was like, there's also that thing of like, you know, we're not only a family as actors, like we all get on well. We spend time with the writers, and so I wonder with like them getting to know us, and if there's little things seeping in that we all don't realize subconsciously that it's kind of like, you know, partly us, partly our characters. I don't know.
You're right.
I don't know where the lines, you know, after spending so long together, I don't know if it's easy to keep all that separate, but I wonder.
I was watching one of the trailers, and I was watching Wes like get ready to fight, right?
Yeah.
Just pulling his chest out a little bit. I imagine like doing a scene with him where that electricity is in there. It's got to be really fun.
Oh yeah,
right.
But Wes is so like fun and cuddly. He's so funny. Like he's so not Amos in that way. Like he's not.
He's hilarious. I mean, he's hilarious.
It's the only time he's like super serious is, you know, when he's focused and being Amos. So it's interesting actually to be with him in those moments. I feel like there's always a potential to like burst out laughing at any moment with Wes.
Yeah.
He's that guy.
Yeah, I have a great story about Wes. Is that, you know, me and him were doing a scene a couple of years ago.
I love this story.
And as Dom was saying, like when he works, he's very focused, and he's, you know, he's in Amos, and you know, like got that side, turned around, they put the camera the other direction, and we'd start the scene, and he's messing with me while I'm doing my coverage, right? Just messing with me. And we're always poking at each other. And then we finish and they cut. And I was like, Wes, the camera was on you. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
So we at least we always have that footage.
You have a George C. Scott performance from Dr. Strangelove.
Exactly.
I studied acting in high school and a little bit afterwards. So I remember learning acting from the frame of your body as an instrument and all the ways in which actors work to hone and be able to know how they move. But you guys have this added wrinkle in this show of sometimes doing that from wires.
Yes.
How much more difficult is it to both hit a mark, especially when you're like spinning free, and also be giving a performance?
It's really hard. I mean, even the simple stuff is quite hard. Like yesterday, we done something where we were just in a harness and just coming down and then going on a walk, which in itself is quite simple, but like you have the harness, which has to be very, very tight. So the first time we done it, I was like speaking like that to get my lines out, and I was like, shit, I need to breathe. And
it's what it was like to be a woman 100 years ago.
Yes, I was like, this is like a corset. There's a lot of things at play there, and then also normally when we're in the wires, it's 0G, so then we have to like be aware of our movements, and you know, if we're carrying something, it can't have weight. And there's that thing, like yesterday in the scene, we was floating, we was in a harness, we was in our vac suits, we was carrying a helmet, and we was trying to have this like really casual conversation because me and the other character were belters. So we're trying to make this all look easy, like something we do all the time. And then you've got background crossing in front of us, and then the wires get caught, and it's all like, it's a whole thing. And we just have to try and ground ourselves in like the scene and the drama, and because that's what's important. That's what people are going to really, you love the science, but that's what, you know, you're really leaning into. So it's hard, but fun, a fun challenge.
Yeah, definitely fun. You know, the coordination between departments that Dom was talking about is incredibly intricate. I mean, you know, we have the wire riggers, and then we have all the other actors on the set, and then we have the camera crew who have to shoot it in a certain way to sell what we're doing, and it all has to look effortless. So there's a lot of moving parts to each shot. So even something simple, just coming down and walking forward, there are a multitude of different people that have to get it just right for it to work.
Well, so I remember hearing Jonathan Rhys on The Americans talking about how half of his performance is just trying to do the accent right. He's like, people are only seeing half of my acting ability.
Right.
So I actually got put in the wire rig earlier today, and they ran me through what you did yesterday.
Oh, go, okay.
And it, I was thinking, oh my God, she's got to land and then walk forward as if it's total 0G, and also it's just, you're thinking, leg straight, leg something, you're giving instructions to...
Yeah, we have to click the boots on, so our mag boots activate, but all the while I'm just talking to this other character, like, this is all something we do all the time, we're belters, you know, this is easy.
You're running these two tracks in your head.
So I'm like, make this look normal, easy. So like that pressure as well, just like the effortlessness of it is always in the back of your head, which is weird to have all these things going on.
Well, I also imagine that a tight interface with the effects crew and a comfort with them is super important, because you want to, if something's not working, you want to be able to workshop it, to be able to see what it looks like on camera, to have them help you figure it out. Right?
I mean, there is a whole lot of trust that needs to exist between everybody. I mean, not to mention the simple, you know, fact when you're hanging 100 feet up, you know, at the top of the ceiling, that they got you, you know, like it's, you know, it's...
And there's pressure in places that you don't need that.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I'm always grumpy when we do the wire work. Yesterday, the director, Breck, who we've worked with, he's like, you are so grumpy when you get in those suits and do the wire work. I'm like, I know. I'm trying to be light, but it's uncomfortable.
The suits are sweaty too, right?
We're basically wearing a wetsuit, so it gets wet, and then you're like...
And the weight distribution is really weird. So, like, you know, if you're on the wires in the suit, you know, the helmet is really heavy. So staying straight, you're straining, but you can't look like you're straining.
Oh God, there's a scene in season 4 where basically we do a scene where we were side on, and we're spinning. But we were side on spinning, so they filmed it so it would look like we were spinning that way, but we done it side on. So like you're saying, obviously the want is to do that. So every time they was like, and you'd have to like basically pull your head up and like try and look straight. When really you just want to be like...
You must wake up sore in some really unique ways.
Dehydrated. I mean, those suits are gross by the end of the day.
So
I mean, they're walking by themselves.
Have you been at a con and run into someone cosplaying in one of your character suits and commiserated with them about how sweaty and uncomfortable it is?
You know, ironically, I've never seen the spacesuit at a con, and it's probably the reason why
Fascinating.
I mean, I wouldn't wear that all day if I had the choice.
Okay, so I also know that you guys in season 4 spend some time outdoors.
Yes.
Outdoors on a planet, if the trailers are to be believed. So I'm curious if it was nice to be out in the sun.
It's going to sound like we're complaining the whole the suit. It was freezing.
Go for it. Tell me how cold it was.
It was freezing. I have no right. There's a part in the season where I'm not there anymore, and they had to stay out. And I was freezing in October. I was like, this is just no fun for me.
I will say that despite it being very cold, we're an hour and a half north of Toronto in December, and like really, cold. What it gives to the show in terms of its tone.
It's so worth it when you watch it.
I mean,
the same with the suits. It's like we wear them and we're always like, oh, but then you watch the show and you're like, oh my God, that looks amazing. Illis looks amazing.
And you want to do those extra takes because you know what the payoff is at the end of the day.
I feel like this is what people say about having a baby. Like, I haven't had one myself, but like afterwards you're like, look.
No, you don't. You don't remember. My kids are 20 now, and I don't remember the trauma and triage of their infancy.
Right.
I just don't.
Or the birth, if maybe you're...
No, wasn't. I didn't go through it, but I got to watch it. So I have this really weird specific question. I bet you did some night shoots, potentially, when you were outdoors.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm curious about night shoots from an actor's perspective, because you're both very attractive people.
Oh, thank you.
Well, thanks very much.
You have a performance, and you also have a brand, your moneymaker, right? So I'm curious if, like, you're on set and you're exhausted, if it's problematic to take a nap, like if you'll wake up and try and go on camera, will you be puffy? Is this something you have to worry about?
You know what? I think if you need to nap, that normally overtakes what you're going to look like afterwards.
Sure.
If I need to nap at lunch, it means we've been on set since like 5 and I'm like falling asleep. But I don't know, like I think what's good about this show is, and I guess as an actor anyway, there should be a foregoing of your vanity. I don't think you can worry about how you look, to be honest, and be present in the scene. Right. At least I have found I can't. And there is no requirement for me to look any certain way on this show. No one's ever apart from a bit of powder, because me and Stephen, we're very oily people. We've got that good skin. So apart from that, it's not like, we've got lashes and lipstick and, like a corset. It's not like it's a period. So I rarely am considering how I look. And I think the blue lights and the kind of, we're not meant to look,
Well, it's lots of underlighting. It's very attractive lighting.
It's so unattractive. I'm always like, we all look so rough in this show, but like in the best way. That's how it should look. And so it's accurate, and I don't really care personally.
No,
I don't know about you.
No, I don't think, I think for the most part, I don't think anybody on our show really does. And I think always, just speaking to what Dom was saying, it's imperative to put your vanity aside when you are existing in a scene presently with somebody else, unless that character is vain.
Right.
Which is possible
unless
sometimes.
You're worrying about your appearance.
Right, exactly.
All right, so you're filming season 5 right now. Season 4 is just about to air. I'm curious, over this long period of time, if you have interesting, different reactions to watching some of the early shows, to watching some of your early performances.
Oh my God. It's so weird. We all look so young,
right?
And like, often I'm like, what is that acting? What are you doing?
Right, you would make different choices now.
Well,
right?
it's as well, for me specifically, I mean, Stephen's been doing this a very long time, but like, I've only been acting like 8-9 years, which sounds like a lot, but it's not. And before I booked this show, I'd only been acting 3 years and had bit parts, 1 lead role in an ensemble cast. So I feel like I've grown up on this show as an actor. And so, I look at season 1 and I'm like, oh, girl, you were as stiff as a board. And, I've seen myself grow. I've seen my performance grow. And I don't have a problem watching myself. Like, I think because I come from a dance background, you always watch yourself to get better, to know what you're doing.
You achieve a separation after a certain amount of time.
So I have been studying what I'm doing. I'm like, is this good? Do I believe myself? And try and improve. And so, I feel a bit cringe about the earlier seasons. Not to say they aren't good, but I just think I have that kind of own, personal critique about my work. Like I feel like we all do.
Sure, yeah. I think I'm certainly my own worst critic. I think that's probably true of a lot of actors.
Yeah.
But I will say, having been a fan of the books before we started shooting, and having revisited those early seasons not that long ago, recently, it's rare that I get lost in work that I'm in. Mm-hmm. And I think, again, that really speaks to the writing and our crew and our fellow cast and stuff, because I got caught up in it. I wasn't even really thinking about
that's awesome.
The choices we made at the time, or I was into the story. I was like, oh, this is great. Like it had been years since I had seen it.
Well,
And
speaking of getting lost in the moment, I'm noticing as I'm walking around, there's a lot more sets than there were 3 years ago when I was here for season 2.
Yeah.
And they're bigger and deeper. I got on a set, I got on one set and I couldn't find the way out. I kept on going through doors, and now I'm in an airlock and there's a hallway. That's got to be really fun.
Oh, yeah.
It's great. The sets are incredible in this show. I mean, they always have been. Like, even the Rocinante, it's always been like this layered, different levels, different. It just makes our job so much easier. You walk in on the set and you're in the world, like immediately. There's not much push in the imagination of what the thing would look like, where you would be. We haven't got all these green screens all the time, so it's just like, it's such a privilege to have the team that we have building the sets, and then getting to walk in them and they being like fully functional and fully surrounding you, and like stairs that go down to another room, and you're like, oh, I'm in this bit of the ship. Like, I love it.
We have the best production team. I mean, it's wild how talented they are. And to what Tom was saying, we do a shockingly small amount of green screen on this show. Most of the sets are practical.
Incredible.
Yeah, and it's we have, I don't even know how many sound stages we have now. It's 3 or 4. I think it's 4.
Well, I really enjoyed. My mum came to visit the set, and she was walking around, and she went, hang on, and she kept knocking. Is this wood? This is wood. And I was like, yes, Mum, they're all like wood. No, this one ain't. And I was like, no, it is wood. I love that, like, outsider, not knowing how it all works. She kept, knocking on all the walls.
So when you bring in a new actor for a season and they show up into this family, there must be a certain period of time when they're like not sure how it's going to go, and you guys embrace them, and then they...
We're always really good about bringing people in very quickly. And I've always said this, is that this show is very unusual in its culture, where it feels a lot more like a theater company than it does a kind of hierarchical television show. It is very collaborative and warm. It's a safe place to take creative risk.
Well, so speaking of that, I'm curious if you, when you're reading scripts for a new episode, if there are scenes you're going to do with each other, for instance, that you're not sure about, do you guys workshop that stuff?
Oh yeah. Yeah. We have taken our weekends since the first episode of the first season to rehearse with the entire cast, the writer of the episode, and usually the director. And we have not missed an episode in 5 years.
Amazing.
Yeah, we got more coming up this weekend.
Yeah.
One of the things I love most about science fiction within a television frame is how much it allows for a meta-social commentary. And it's really impressive to me how current it feels, even though its source material is 10 years old.
Yeah.
I'm curious about what you think people are going to take from season 4. Like, is it going to give us better scope on some of the geopolitics that are going on right now?
I always hope that a lot of things in The Expanse either serve as a kind of mirror or a cautionary tale, because it's the future, but I kind of hope a lot of things in it are not the way it is in the show, even though it's a wonderful show and it's, making a point of things. But I do hope it serves probably more so as a mirror than a cautionary tale. I think that's what the best art does, is gets you to look at a reflection of yourself or your society or your family, and maybe give you a different point of view. And so I always hope that The Expanse continues to, and we definitely do in season 4, hold up a mirror to the world.
Yeah, I think the science fiction that I've always been drawn to is allegorical, and on our show, it is a mirror, and it's also a vehicle, I think, for sparking conversations out there that maybe wouldn't be had otherwise about geopolitics or society at large. And it's amazing what you can talk about in a digestible way when you change the names and the time
And the circumstances.
Yeah, and then suddenly you're putting a very human face on stuff that most folks see in the news or whatever, and hopefully spark conversations out there that desperately need to be had today. That's for sure.
Awesome. Stephen, Dom, thank you so much for talking to me. I really appreciate
Thank
it.
you,
I
man.
love this show. I love your family. I love visiting.
Thanks,
you. It's
man.
lovely to have
Good to
you.
see you again.